And it took me all of those years from age 11 to whenever I wrote that song to really, what I can say, assimilate uh, the story in a way that I could finally express something about what it had meant to me, you know.
So, for those that are going to see this particular interview between me and Eric Bibb, folks, this is Sir Eric Bibb. He's an astonishing, accomplished blues musician uh, who is currently talking about his album called Live in Scala Theater. He's just a smidge over 70, and he doesn't look older than 50. He is, for those that don't know his musical stylings, I do recommend actually listening to some of his albums, but he's a masterful musician and songwriter when it comes to the blues. And I think you're still a big fan of the steel string acoustic guitar because it tends to be the musical instrument of your choice. Have you ever decided to try something else?
Um, I've dabbled in, other instruments briefly, but the guitar has been my passion since a very young age. Not only the steel string guitar, but I started out actually playing seriously, started out uh, trying to learn the guitar with classical lessons. So the nylon string guitar is also a dear friend of mine. But
Mhm.
guitars, and mostly acoustic. I don't really play so much electric. I play amplified acoustic guitars, but I play acoustic instruments. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I don't mind the acoustic instruments because it's less of a uh, I want to say brain freeze when it comes
Mhm.
to music. Electrical, if it's too electrical, too
Yes,
distorted, it's I don't know. It takes away from the performance.
yes, I know what you mean. I agree, and it's probably why it's been my instrument of choice, the acoustic side of the guitar. However, having said that, Yannick,
Hmm.
I know and collaborate with many guitarists who are fine players on electric instruments. So it's all a question of touch, really, and approach. And one of the things that's so amazing about the guitar is that it can be played in so many ways. You know.
True.
Mhm.
I've seen Jeff Healey do his career on the guitar, and he was playing it in his lap mostly, and then he decided to try this, do it while standing up. But he then went into jazz
Yeah, yeah,
in
and
his
he was
last
a trumpet
years.
player too. Yeah.
So there is one point that I'd like to get your memory. You became involved with Michael Jerome Brown
Mm.
at one point. He has some ties to the maritime community of blues because he produced two albums for a band that no longer really exists. It was the Glamour Puss blues band,
Mm.
and then they went to just name Glamour Puss. It was done in a small church near my city of Moncton.
Mm.
So, how did you actually meet and collaborate with Michael? Was it just a happenstance?
I actually would have to really rack my memory to remember when I first met Michael, but it might have been at a festival. I heard this guy and I thought, man, you're amazing. Uh, I need to know how to get in touch with you. Uh, he was one of the most serious purveyors of older country blues guitar styles and a wonderful singer as well,
Hmm.
and songwriter. Somebody of Michael's caliber is hard to find when it comes to this genre. We're still in touch. I spoke to him about 2 days ago. I have a feeling we'll probably be seen together and playing together this summer at the Edmonton Folk Festival.
Oh, I know people are going to be flocking to see you, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a very good thing, mate. That's a very good thing.
Music aside, and the latest album aside, which you're touring right now, as a person, do you actually take time or have time to actually do anything specific in regards to a pastime, a hobby?
That's a nice question. I love to cook, and I also love to woodwork, work with wood, build
Uh,
things, furniture, simple stuff. And I like to paint. Um, and I don't always have time for those things. Cooking, yes, but the other two, not as much as I'd like to at the moment. But yeah, it all kind of flows together, and it all seems to center mostly around my kitchen. I write
mm,
songs at my kitchen table. I cook in my kitchen. I listen to music. I paint in my kitchen. I don't. Yeah, sometimes I even woodwork in the kitchen. So yeah.
okay, so and all in real time, you're just a normal, all American, all Canadian blooded man. There is one question that I wanted to ask, and I'll ask it now before I forget. You compose songs, and I know that between you and Ulrika, at one point, you decided to actually create an album that is a delight to listen to. It was Praising Love.
Hmm.
And you mentioned that the album is more based around everyday life,
Yes.
and most of the inspiration is from that. So, when you're composing a song,
Mm.
would you have any pointers on the songwriters of tomorrow to actually
Mm.
try to get a leg up on the domain? Because I've understood so far that when a person is songwriting, you really don't get any attention unless you're under a publishing house
Hmm.
for some odd reason.
Mm.
And you do need to build a catalog that you can actually say, here's my portfolio, and you can pick from them. What would you give as your
Mm.
10 cents worth of knowledge?
Right. Well, I can say from experience that you learn more and more about the business of music the longer you stay making music. Uh, it's a very complex uh, industry. The publishing side is complex. My advice is to find somebody who's experienced in music publishing,
Mhm.
who really likes your music, somebody in an audience, a cafe who you've been pointed out, somebody has pointed out that guy's a music publisher, he's been in the business. You make an appointment and you say, can I have a meeting and play you some of my material? That's what you do. And you have to trust your instincts because there's a lot of people in this industry who really are in it for reasons that are not the most exalted. So, I think at the end of the day, at the end of the day,
Uh,
as a songwriter, you're looking at taking a ripe idea, an idea that will sustain a whole song, an idea that really excites you, a theme, a title, or whatever. And if it's rich enough at conception, it'll almost half write itself. That's my experience. But I think it's important to keep writing and to become confident in your songs. You pick your best ones and you showcase them as much as you can. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Wise words from a very exalted man. Uh, so the last question I have is really a little bit quirky. The question is simply, what is your favorite food dish?
Mm-hmm. Dal, Indian dal and rice. I make
All
it.
of us.
I make it all the time. Garlic dal, taka dal, as they say in the UK. Just red lentils cooked with spices and onions. and with rice. And it's a perfect meal that I never tire of. So when I don't know what to eat, I make dal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, folks.
Mhm.
Eric Bibb loves to cook, loves to paint, loves to do woodworking. He's the astonished musician. He's a fabulous songwriter.
Oh
He's
man.
got a very loving, supportive
Mm.
life partner
Yeah,
in
there you go.
Ulrika.
Who's a wonderful singer, who is absolutely a beautiful singer, who I love performing with. And I'm glad you mentioned the album, Praise Seeing Love, because it's available on the streaming platforms. And you know, when I tour, Ulrika is always a guest with me and performs a few songs, you know, in my sets. So it's a perfect life, you know. We make music together.
and in very very true ways. The In case people don't know anything about Ulrika, she came from a nursing background. She didn't really sing, but then something happened between Eric and Ulrika. They met and they decided to uh, participate in the creation of music. At one point, you turned to her and you said, "I think I've got a perfect music piece for you, and I'd
Yeah.
like you to sing it." And that's where things.
I knew Yannick that she'd sent me a demo tape, so I knew that she was a serious singer, and I also knew because she confided in me that she'd been singing basically all her life, but behind closed doors, you know, not in public. But
Okay.
she was, and somebody who'd spent hours and hours singing for the love of singing. So yeah, I had a collection of songs, love songs that were not really compatible with my current repertoire on record. And I said, I'd love you to have a hand, you know, a go at singing these songs. And it turned into two albums, the second of which is that Praising Love. Yeah.
Mm. So, Eric, thank you so much for taking. For you, it's the afternoon. For me,
Yeah.
it's early-ish morning.
Yeah.
To actually do this, and thanks to Ulrika, we managed to connect, and I
Yeah.
can't say thank you enough about this.
Yeah. Well, sure. My pleasure, Yannick. Nice talking, nice questions. And, you know, it's been a while since I've been in your part of the woods, you know, but I hope to get there soon again.